Yes, we are giving thanks. We are giving thanks. And officially, we should be totally, as they say, live now. Blessed love to the family and give thanks for all those who are coming in. We give thanks to the eternal spirit. We give thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life. And of course, we give thanks for the frequency and give thanks for the God within, glorify the life giver. Give thanks for the 3-in-1 and 1-in-3, and it's a joy that you are with us in the name of Kadamawe. Haile Selassie, Negus and Nagas. It is a joy, family. You are here with us in the Tiger's Nest. The Honorable Priest Isaac here with you. Another wonderful evening, another wonderful vibration. Of course, according to the calendar that most of us follow, we have just stepped into the month of June. And of course, you know, specifically just coming off of a new moon as well, you know, and the sun is still taking its time coming out of Taurus and of course, going on its way to Gemini. And those of you who were with us previous night in the Tiger's Nest on Radio Anu, of course, we were in glee to find an astrologer who had the heavens correct as this astrologer. That was Joey, isn't it? She was saying that the new moon was definitely in Taurus, not in Gemini, as most astrologers are saying. But of course, this is what I'm saying, family. If you're into the astrology, you got to get the astronomy correct, or else the reading will be totally off, you know, even though you may have the right mechanism or the right idea, but because the astronomical clock is a few hundred years off, it will be a different vibration. But anyway, family, give thanks. We have a wonderful program for you tonight. We have a very helpful brother with us. We will be talking about the spiritual realms. We will be talking about the mystic realms. I believe somehow we'll be getting into different dimensions and parallel worlds. Of course, because if you're talking about multiverses and multi-universes, and we're going into the Akashic records, for sure, we have to go into different worlds and different dimensions and different existences and etc., etc. So we have an author with us. We have a teacher with us. We have Brother THEO Chambers, and he's already here in the VIP section of the Tiger's Nest, and he will be making himself, you know, known to you in a few moments. But before we introduce our esteemed brother here, let me just remind you, as I said, it's the 1st of June. So you know what that means. It is time for us to wrap up all of the requests for this year's summer solstice experience right here in the Caribbean, right here in Antigua. For those who may not know what I'm talking about, every year we have the summer solstice experience aligned with the summer solstice itself. And this is all about Green Castle Hill. Again, for those who may not know, Green Castle Hill right here in Antigua, in Anu, a unique structure in the world, countless of volcanic megaliths, countless, not millions, countless of volcanic megaliths that protrude out of the mountain and align with the movements of the stars. So every year, we definitely have a great retreat, 7 days and nights with us, double hike, sunrise hike, and sunset hike, plus the island tour and the yoga retreat and the cannabis tour as well. And we're going to be having the Nyabingi drums on the mountain. At the same time, you'll be coming to the Sabbath service with us. And of course, we'll be definitely having a joyous time with our elders and with our griots. We have griots here that will give you the history going 100+ years back as it relates to the Caribbean history itself. So it's going to be a wonderful session. Remember to book your spot, book your space. Make sure you have your airplane tickets all aligned because you need to be here by the 17th. If you need more information, you know, it's a very simple thing to do. Just contact us, email us, priestIsaacInstitute@gmail.com. That's priestIsaacInstitute@gmail.com. Visit the website, priestisaac.institute.com, or just give us a call specifically or WhatsApp us on the numbers that you see in front of you as it relates to Rastafari Experience Antigua, one of our companies. You definitely can call or WhatsApp area code 1268. That's area code 1268-714-1227. Looking forward to your presence with us. And let me just remind you again, in the Tigers Temple this Sunday, we're going to have the mighty ICERN with us. We had a wonderful sit down last night talking about the divinity of Haile Selassie I. I know a lot of ones were not really up to speed with that. You know, the brother ICERN carried it to another level. He was speaking about the divinity within all of us, and that the oneness of what we call God dwells in all of us. And it was a real upful reasoning and discussion, somewhat tearing away from the religiosity that many of us do carry. So he's going to return with us this Sunday. Make sure you get your passes early, family. You know, for it's just a contribution of $10 to come into the Tigers Temple. We start at 8 p.m. sharp. And one of the things the Tigers Temple affords you, you know, you'll be able to contribute, ask your questions. You know, you can even come on the panel and get a little time to express yourself. That's what the Tigers Temple is all about. So you know what to do. Just email us or give us a call. You know all the details, so we can definitely come together and do the thing the right way. You know, I definitely don't want to have my guests holding up anymore. In fact, I wouldn't even say, I guess we hardly bring guests here. Nobody comes here guessing anything. We bring ones here that know exactly what they are saying, and this brother is no exception. Brother THEO Chambers, give thanks for your presence with us. Your mic is still muted. You can unmute it for us. Yes, blessed love to you, and give thanks and hotep and peace and shalom. It's a joy, my brother. You're looking bright there.
Thank you.
Looking full of energy, and it's an honor. You know, I not too long came across yourself. I don't know how long you would have been following but you know, you've been sending me some words of inspiration on a daily level. Plus, as I said, I took a little time to sit down into the live interview you were doing a few days ago. So definitely the words that you uttered as it relates to the oneness, again, with the universe and the AKASHIC records and so many different inspirational vibration and frequency you are bringing to the world, I decided that, you know, it would be a very good thing to have you on at least my platform. So those who, you know, sit around the works we do would get an inspirational moment with you here tonight. So my brother, again, love to you, blessed love, give thanks for your presence. Again, to the family, this is our good brother, Brother THEO Chambers. He's an author, he's a speaker, and he's a teacher and many other things. I'm just going to ask him to reintroduce himself. If he doesn't want to give no long story, he can just give you a short little introduction and a little bit about himself, and then we'll take it from there. My good brother, welcome to the Tigers Nest.
Yes. Well, let me introduce myself. I'm a 24-year-old young man trapped in a 73-year-old body. I was born, well, my body was manufactured in Panama, and my soul was brought in from Jamaica. So whatever you want to say about that, you know, my parents, I was born in Panama, but my parents are Jamaican, so that's the way I put it. I just love life, love nature, and I live with a couple principles. We all are transient visitors vacationing on planet Earth with an expiration passport. Therefore, the question is, are we enjoying our vacation on planet Earth?
Mm-hmm.
Do we know why we are here? We know a lot about our automobile. We know a lot about the clothes we buy and who manufacture it. We know a lot about different part of, you know, California, Disney World, but we don't know nothing about nature itself. Who created us? You know, I'm 73 years old. Where was I 75 years ago? And where will I go when my passport expires? Those are important questions for us to understand, and that's my life. I just enjoy doing those things.
Give thanks, my brother. All right. Well, that's a wonderful introduction. And let me just tell the audience, you know, the title was primarily your title, Multi-Universes, Multiverses, and the Akashic records. So on that theme, you know, you asked a series of questions a moment ago. So let me pick out one of them and bring it to you. Why are we here?
You know, the question is, why are we here? Then we have to go back to who created us.
That was the other one in my mind too.
All right. Now, if we all can understand today's computer games, listen to this. When you put on a headpiece, it tricks your mind to believe that you're no longer on planet Earth. You are in that game that you're playing. And you're there moving and acting and so forth, believing that you're there with no understanding that who you are as a human being on planet Earth. If you take that, then what they're saying that there's a possibility that we are also created in the same way, that we are avatars, that something else controls us and something else is in charge of the games that we play. So if you understand, oh, we are creating our own multiverse and our own universe and the game that we're playing, then it leaves the possibility that we also are part of that entire universal game. Something very difficult for the average person to understand or accept, but it's a reality that we all must face. So therefore, who we are, why we are here, let's put it this way. A caterpillar transformed from a caterpillar into a butterfly. And from my own point of view, where we were 75 years ago, prior to my birth, I was in what we call pure potentiality. Okay? And to explain that, I want to take you to another level. A healthy male, each time he ejaculates, he ejaculates approximately 100 million sperms. The minimum of 100 million sperm in one ejaculation. Imagine how small a sperm has to be for 100 million to be in one ejaculation. And each one of those sperm is what I call a potential dad. Okay? Any one of them penetrate that egg becomes the daddy, who we call dad. But also,
interesting.
Imagine the intelligence that that sperm has to create you and me, to create our DNA, our heart, our nervous system. So now, what we need to understand is that each one of those sperm in reality don't have the information they need to create you and I. Guess what they are? They are decoders that download the information from the universe and do what needs to be done to create you and I. So you and I are the creation of intelligent cells. And cells exist throughout the entire universe. And to understand the universe, you have to understand also that there are 5 elements that create the entire universe. The first one is called the Akasha, not the AKASHIC, the Akasha. And the Akasha, some people call it the Word, God, the cosmic law, the intelligence. Nothing happened outside of the Akasha. It's like the dome where everything comes out. And out of the Akasha comes fire, air, water, and land. Everything is created out of that. So to really understand who we are and where we were, we need to understand the intelligent cells that create us and who we are. Now, I'm going to ask you three questions and tell me if it's true or false. Is it true that when a woman egg and a man's sperm comes together, there's a possibility that a human can be created? And the intelligence inside of that egg and sperm that created you and I is invisible to the human naked eyes. Is that true?
Well, once is not a trick question. Yeah,
No,
it's true.
there's no trick question.
I know, it's true. Well, yes.
Is it true that the largest tree in any forest come from a seed, and intelligent inside of that seed creating that tree is invisible to the human naked eyes? Is that true?
Definitely. Microscopic and all of that.
Is it true that the largest fish, mammal, in the sea come from a little cell, and intelligent in that cell is also invisible to the human naked eye? Is that true?
Yes, subatomic. Can't see it.
Good. So therefore, if all three answers that you tell me, the human being came from a little cell, the largest tree come from a little seed, a little cell, and the largest fish came from a little cell that created the gigantic, then there's a possibility that God, the creator, is nothing but a little cell.
I hear you.
Because nothing in the world is created from something large. It's come from a little intelligent. So to understand who we are, where we came from, and all of that, we need to understand the cosmic universe, how it's created, and how all those intelligent cells works in harmony to create you and I in today's space.
Yes, sir. All right. So in a sense, that's, you would call that the understanding of how creation took place, individual creation took place.
That's right. That's right.
But that would be like a microcosm of the macrocosm then. Because
exactly.
when you explain it, go ahead.
An example, when you go outside during the day, the sun, which is external, first of all, let me retract back. The average person does not remember or acknowledge that planet Earth is floating in space. So don't look at space like something strange. We're all in space right now.
We are in space, yes.
Adhering to the laws and rules of space, of the universe, okay? So once we understand that, we're not talking craziness or garbage, because we are in space. Now, the sun is so far away from planet Earth, but when those energy hits your skin, which is a solar panel, our skin is a solar panel, immediately start to create what? Vitamin D. Okay? Show you how everything works in harmony. And the same sun create the photosynthesis for the plants. And the rain and the water comes down to the soil that germinates the seed that create the trees and the plants and the fruit trees and all of that stuff, okay?
Definitely.
Then those plants start to blossom, all intelligence, and start to create mangoes and papayas and all of that, intelligence within those fruits. Then you eat that intelligence and it becomes you. It becomes your blood, your energy, your lungs, everything. So it's a recycling system that we all is one in nature.
Yes.
And if you understand how nature works, then you understand how to play the game of life.
And
that's what it's all about.
So meaning that everything in nature that has life as such has a oneness that connects them.
That's right.
Okay, fair enough. Yes.
There is only one intelligence in the world.
I hear you.
An example, you and I right now are breathing in oxygen and breathing out carbon dioxide seamlessly. Don't even know it, okay? You might think that you and I are two separate persons, but imagine, my brother, look in the sky, look at the empty space that is there, right? Nothing but empty space, which is a lie. Because if you look at the empty space, you will know right now that the entire planet Earth is full of oxygen. So when you're walking through oxygen and carbon dioxide. Right now, you and I are talking long distance. The wavelength that making you hear me and I seeing you is floating in space. Okay? So there's no empty space. There is TV there, there's radio signal, there is light signal. There's so many things right in what we call an empty space. That when we walk, we are going through all of those natural and man-made energy and vibration. So the question you need to ask ourselves, are you enjoying life? Another thing I want to share with everyone is this. Where do you live?
That's a question for me?
Yes.
Well, I like to say, I know that question. I don't like to give my residence for that. I mean, everyone knows where I am.
All right. Well,
I like to say I live where I am. So like just quickly, if I was in Alaska and somebody say, "Oh, do you live in Alaska?" I would say, "Yeah, because I'm here. Wherever I am, I'm alive, and I assume that I live in my own self."
Exactly. We live 24/7 in our body.
Right.
Sometimes we stay in Antigua, sometimes we're in New York, sometimes everywhere. We live 24/7 in our body. Therefore, if we live 24/7 in our body, the most expensive thing is supposed to go where? Inside of our body, not on top of our body. Okay?
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two, if you understand that the past never comes back. So don't hold on to the past, what happened to you in the past. That's enemy number one. And enemy number two is the future, is tomorrow. And you know why tomorrow is a lie? Every time tomorrow shows up, he changes his name to today. When next week shows up, it's still today. When next month shows up, it's still today. So if we master today, we master all the days of our lives, because tomorrow and next week never shows up. When you wake up in the morning, it's still today. And the key is, if you learn to master today, you master all the days of your life. And that's what understanding the cosmic law of creation is all about. Understanding life itself. The floor is yours.
Powerful. Powerful. As you're bringing us on this level, I think that, well, I can't say for the audience here, but I know a lot of ones as elementary or primary or rudimentally, or the rudiments of life would show you that you're a physical being and a spiritual being. You just ask where we live. And if the answer is that you live in your body, that means your body, in a sense, I mean, it's you, but you're more, the impression you're giving us here that you're more than your body. You're actually using your body like clothes. Because I'm listening to everything you said. You want to know where you were.
You see this?
75 years ago. Go ahead.
This is my phone.
I hear you.
It's an iPhone. Look at it. Look at the shape of it. And I can show you 10 other iPhones that don't look like this, different color, different shape, right? But they all have the same interior, the same internal mechanism that allows to talk.
Right.
The same thing with human beings. We look different. but internally we have the same mechanism. So internally, we can talk to each other. We can communicate with each other. We can change certain blood type and so forth because of the fact we're all connected to the same cosmic intelligence. And once you understand that, that's what life is all about. Now,
and the cosmic intelligence is still us.
Yes. Now, let us go to the AKASHIC records, okay? The AKASHIC records records everything that we do on planet Earth. Every movement, everything that happened on planet in the universe is being recorded. And let me prove to you why that is true. How many times have you heard of someone who is 9 years old, 12 years old, 15 years old, turn around and says, they remember 50 years ago, while living in China, Japan, or London, there was a house and there was this big incident that took place or whatever took place. And when you do the record, it was true. And they, that person just born. You know what that means? That every time we take the breath of life, there is a code, a shell that seals itself up and allow you to have a new experience on planet Earth. But sometimes that seal cracks open and allow you to go back to the past where you have flashback of past life that you used to live, and you can recall it with intelligence. And that's why you know that we are living the same life over and over again in different bodies and different shapes. Okay, so again, so when you sit back and you turn around and you said, you know, I want to be a mechanic. The AKASHIC record automatically will start to throw ideas to you by saying you can volunteer in a mechanic shop, or you can go to school to be a mechanic. And all these answers start to come to you. And you think that you're the one who's thinking those answers, but it's a download. No, it's up to you to decide which one of those downloads you want to accept. Another good example, you might say, I want to earn money fast. And you know what the AKASHIC record is going to tell you? It's going to give you all the information. It doesn't filter anything out. It might tell you, you need to get a job. You can go rob a bank.
That's the first thing.
You can be a scammer. You know, you can thief. You know, it gives you the information.
And you have to substitute.
It's up to you which one you want to accept. And that's what it proves that the AKASHIC record, the library, just like Google, you search to give you everything that you want, you know, or to create a weapon, it gives you all the information. It's up to you to accept what you want and what you don't want. And that's what life is all about, my brother.
All right, my brother. So let me ask you then, so with all of this now, since we already distinguished that you live within your body.
Yes, sir.
Who is you? Who is the real you that live in the body? In the body. A round of applause. Yeah?
That's a powerful, powerful question. And let me tell you something, my brother. You cannot see the oxygen that you're breathing. Am I right or wrong?
No, you're correct.
You cannot see the carbon dioxide that you're breathing out.
You're correct.
You cannot see the signals or the vibration of my speech. You are an invisible soul having a physical experience. There's an intelligence inside of you that is living that is asking the question, who am I? Who's asking that question? That's you know, who's asking the question, who am I inside of me, living inside of me? That's a powerful. It's intelligence. 37.5 trillion cells who made you up exactly who you are. Nature, intelligence, who you are. All I can tell you, look, my brother, I can tell you this much. I am intelligent cells having a planetary experience. And when you and I see a doctor or someone examine it with a microscope, cells, we actually examining ourselves. Because we are studying ourselves, because we are nothing but cells. That's the reason why, look, my brother, if you have a headache and the doctor gave you medicine, or let's say you have diarrhea, and the doctor gave you certain medicine or you drink certain tea to stop your diarrhea, you know what you just did? That tea have the intelligence, like a sick eastern missile, going directly into your body, going exactly to that location, boom, and stop it. Intelligence, it bypassing everything else.
Very much so, yes. That's interesting.
Exactly to that spot to deal with that diarrhea that you have. So when we stop acting like we are material thing and we want a car and big thing and so forth, and slow down, we realize, wow, we are some serious intelligent beings, man. You know, we are powerful. So don't look in the mirror and look at each other and think, oh, that's my daughter, that's my wife. No, that's an intelligence that you are talking to right there. And how can you all guys able to enjoy the few seconds you have left on this earth? When you wake up in the morning, look at your daughter, look at your family, look at your friend and say, you know, today is one less day I have to spend on this earth. How do you spend it? Full of joy. Full of joy. Understanding nature. But ask all the questions you want to ask.
Well, no, I was just looking, I was making an observation there when you talk about 37 trillion cells, and each of these cells have their own mentality, you know, they have their own intelligence too.
That's right.
You put them under a microscope, they're all fighting and fussing sometimes.
That's right.
And they make you up.
And if you get caught, immediately, you know what those cells sort of do? Invasion. They rush to the cut and start healing immediately. They're so smart. They're no intelligent. Now, when you was in your mother womb, you was attached to your mother how? Through the umbilical cord. Am I right or wrong?
Yes, of course, yes.
And the umbilical cord was attached to your neighbor. That means your neighbor is your first brain. Because everything that made you, all the blood, the oxygen, the food, the music, the feeling, everything came through that umbilical cord. That's why 70% of the disease are in your guts. Because your umbilical cord was the hub that created you.
And we just get that gut feeling too. I have a gut feeling that X, Y, Z. Interesting.
Exactly. So now that's why you need to moisture with castor oil or something, your umbilical, your navel to keep it moist, because once you keep it moist, that medicine or those spike or those crystals and so forth goes right into your guts and start to heal you, because that's the hub that will seal. But you can still allow those teas and those elements and those energy to go into your belly, you know, and put it there. so it can start to heal you. The doctor inside of you is ready to communicate with the cosmic law to make you better and make you are. So now, if you know that cells don't need food, cells only survive on energy and more energy, right? So therefore, whatever food you eat should be able to convert into what? Energy.
Energy, yeah.
So now, when you decide to go to Burger King or McDonald's and put that inside of your body, you know what the cells say? What the hell this is? You're trying to kill me. And sort of fight against those invasions. And they say, guess what? I'm going to kill you first. I'm going to give you diabetes, high blood pressure, malaria. You know, I'm going to destroy you. All it's trying to do is to protect itself. And by protecting itself, it evade, it starts to send, you know, rocket against all those things that it does not recognize. And in return, you killing yourself, not realizing that you were the cause of your diabetes, your high blood pressure, your migraine headaches, and so forth. Look, I'm 73 years old, and I never had a migraine headache in my life, never had blood pressure, do have no problem. The only problem I had is that I didn't realize that I manufactured extra cholesterol, and I had to get a quadruple heart bypass. That's it. And guess what? I never took no medicine. The doctor gave me only one. I went back to nature, to the intelligence, until it helped me. And since 2015, and I'm doing well.
Yeah, you look wonderful too, eh? You can see it. Okay, well, on the different levels now, because as we're talking about multiverses, and I know when a lot of ones hear this sort of discussion, like we're gone in some different zone now and AKASHIC records, and ones may start to pull out the emerald tablets, etc., etc. But you used an example a while ago, the video game. Now, do you believe that we are here? Okay, for example, you spoke about the soul and spirit. Now, I know I'm here and you're there and we're talking. And most of the time, those of us who understand that, okay, we're made up of physical and we're made up of other things, from etheric, we have an astral self, emotional self, all kinds of things going on with us. Yeah. All right. In fact, there's the different schools of thought that we exist in parallel worlds. So
that's right.
So the thing is real deep. So I'm saying now, usually when we go to so-called sleep in the night, many of us will have dreams. And you know, sometimes you don't even know you're dreaming.
1 minute, you just picked up exactly what I had in my mind. I was just about to tell you about dreams and you just spoke about it.
Right, well.
You just tap into the same verse that I was in, with the same length.
Right, go ahead. Well, exactly. So, well, right. I may be asking it maybe a tad bit different than where you were going. What I'm saying now, do you consider in the same way that we dream and we're in a different world as we're so-called dreaming? I like to say vision, but just for conversation's sake, dreaming. Do you think that our life now, I mean, the life when we're so-called awake, could also be a similar experience, almost like a dream then, where we as the intelligent being is somewhere else? I don't believe we are inside of the body alone as such. We exist. That's my outlook. We exist. So it's not like in the cartoon when the man dies, you see the ghost come out of him floating up in the sky. You know, our intelligence, I believe we inhabit the universe as you say, we are one with the intelligence. So we're not necessarily inside of our mouth, you dig your hand in and pull out your spirit. So I'm just saying, do you think that we are, the core of who we are is somewhere else projecting on this, if you want to say avatar or human flesh, in this dimension that we are in, almost like a dream? Because some people have that theology, that this 100%. Is the dream of God.
100%, I believe that 100%. We are in multiverse.
Definitely.
Look, you see me? Sometimes when I dream, I'm fighting and I'm running here and I just as life as possible. You know, how can that happen? That happens because it is true that we are more than just who we think we are. We are nothing but intelligence. And intelligence could be in different places with different experience and not realize it, that we are all these different places having the same experience over and over again. So you are very deep. You know exactly what was asked because that's truly exists.
Yeah, man, give thanks. Well, as you say, we are one, you know. So with this level of thinking then, how is it that we lost this? Where do you think religion comes in here? Because I know we were speaking earlier and you spoke about a work that you have. I hope we're not coming off the topic, but no, it's still your work, so we should be still on the topic. What's the name of that book you said, God versus Christianity and Judaism?
God versus Christianity and Judaism.
Yeah, I'm sure the audience will love to hear what that is about. And of course, before we go, we need to know, you know, kind of some of your books are on Amazon and etc. So, you know, we definitely have to check out.
And this the cover of my book.
Yes.
That's the AKASHIC record back there. That's it.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful.
As you were saying now, ask the question.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
God versus Judaism and Christianity.
The book. Yeah. Because I was looking at it like, for sure, we don't think like this anymore. And I know, well, it's not just religion, just the whole educational system and a lot of things. From the moment you're born, all of the shots that you get, the food that we eat. So I know it's a whole army of invasion on us. But what part do you think religion plays, especially the religions that we know?
Let me come to the religion part. But for me to do that, let me just explain one thing.
Take your time.
When our mothers gave birth to each one of us, okay, and kicked her out of her womb, there was no book of instruction came out of our mother womb saying you was a born Christian, you are born Jew, or you was born to speak for God, or you was born to be a great politician. There was no book of instruction that come out of no woman womb. That's number one.
That's number one, yes.
Number two, there is no way that you can tell me that the earth, which is 6 billion years old, okay, millions and millions of years old, that one day God decided to come down and have a conversation with man and then disappear again for another 2,000 years, never to heard from him. That don't make no sense in my life. But when it comes to God versus Judaism and Christianity,
please take your time.
When the church in 1998, the Catholic Church came out and said in the New York Times, we, the Catholic Church, made a mistake by imprisoning Galileo, because Galileo said the world that the earth revolved around the sun, and the church said you was blaspheming and locked him up, and he died in prison. When they admitted that the church was wrong, that sent an earthquake under the foundation of all the religion, because according to the religion, it was based on a false premise that the earth was the first creation, that everything evolved around the earth. And to prove that wrong means the theory was wrong. So I defending God, and I go this, and I'm going to take to one more step. I want to make it very clear that nothing that I'm speaking about, I have knowledge about. Because only information. Knowledge can only be gotten through personal experience. So everything that we believe in
information
is based on information. So you have a right to interpret the information the way you want. I have a right to interpret the way I want, and anybody else have a right to interpret the way they want. I don't have the knowledge to say that you're wrong or the Christians are wrong. I don't have that knowledge. I have a different opinion based on my own analogy. So I make it very clear. I am only coming up with my interpretation based on my knowledge and my intelligence to interpret this information certain way. So I don't have no argument with Christian, with Jews, with Muslims, and so forth. That's your interpretation of information.
I'm with you, man. Fully.
All right. So now I respect, and the average person do not acknowledge that their religious belief is based on tradition. Because your mother was a Jehovah's Witness or Baptist, you became a Jehovah's Witness and a Baptist. Because you were born in Jamaica or Antigua, you are a Christian. If you were born in India, you would have been an Hinduism. If you were born in Africa, you would have been maybe a Muslim. If you were born in Italy, you would have been a Catholic. So how can we say that we have the true religion when all of our religion is based on accidental birth and exposure to certain things? So I respect all religion, okay? These are things that when you sit back, my brother, and study them, you realize that life is only a game, okay? Now, let me ask you a question.
Yes, please, I'll answer you.
If you are a king of Antigua, let's say the prime minister of Antigua, and I go out telling people that you send me, they must clean up this place, and they beat the hell out of me, they kick me all over the place, and you never come and rescue me. Something wrong with that picture, right or wrong?
Of course, yes, because I send you.
Right? So therefore, every messenger of God got their neck cut off, beaten, to criticize, and God never showed up once to save them. Therefore, God must have never sent them. God played the Shaggy song every day. It wasn't me.
It's not easy.
It wasn't me. God created the universe and everything is in place. God don't need man and to talk for him. And can you imagine through the entire Bible, every time God speaks to man, it's through one person. God is shy. He hides to talk with one person. And guess what? The majority of those messengers and great messiahs of God, look at the record. They're nothing but ex-crooks, ex-thief, who said that they are converted. So you want to tell me that God allowed them to thief, kill, do all those things, then turn around and say, no, I have you go and save my people. That don't make any sense.
You mean like a man like Moses who murdered before he was caught?
Yeah, that's right. Okay. God allowed him and see that he murdered somebody. Allow the murder to take place. Then turn around and tell him, go save my people. That sounds like a story to me, brother.
Well, that God is a serious killer too. I don't. That God has some heads under his belt, said way.
Yeah, but remember now, based on that, there are two gods: the creator of the universe and the biblical God. So we need to know which one we're talking about.
The creator of the universe and the religious God.
And the religious God, the biblical God.
Okay.
Exactly. Two different people.
Right.
Two different cosmic laws, my brother.
But I think the difference with the creator, as you said earlier, is that the creator's presence is tell me if I'm right, it's not like a being you can like, oh, he's over here, let's see if he's up there still. But he just dwells in all, wherever your mind can go.
My brother, look at the flowers.
Right.
The creator's in there.
I get you, yes.
Have you seen a beautiful bird fly effortlessly in the air, my brother? The creator is there. The creator is in you, the oxygen that you breathe.
Right, yes. And you're in the bird too. What about you in the bird?
Yes, look at the ants.
Okay.
You know, when someone said, oh God helped me to become a serious business person. I'm not a successful business person. And I'm able to buy a big house. I build a big house and all of that. Which God do you serve? Going to give you money to go buy land, to clean it out, which will reduce the amount of carbon dioxide that can be absorbed in that area, to disrupt the insect and the bees and the ants that help to maintain the ecosystem. Which God do you serve going to do that? Make no sense at all. This is man-made game. But man needs to understand that the earth existed for billions of years without man, and it can go back to exist without man.
That is the point you hit there.
So the point you're making, that we can play all the games that we want, but we can eliminate ourselves from planet Earth. On planet Earth, we continue to exist just as good with or without man. So that's what life is all about, understanding the game of life, my brother.
So would you consider man the intelligent animal? I mean, I know all animals have the intelligence, but you circle humans out from other living organisms.
All right, let me put it this way.
Yeah.
Let me put it this way. Do you know who Neil deGrasse Tyson is?
Yes, sir.
All right. The great physicist, right?
And astronomer, whatever. Yeah.
Neil deGrasse Tyson said, even though human and chimp has 99% of the exact same DNA, the one difference between human and chimp make it impossible for you and a chimp to sit around a table and have a serious conversation. Okay? Listen to this.
Sensible reasoning.
Therefore, if there's a higher being than us, we are not the chimp and they are the human. So don't expect us to have no serious conversation with intelligence. The intelligence might be right in front of us right now, and we cannot see. Because they are 1% or 50% higher than us. Now, I think that man and God might only have 1% of the same DNA. Let's play by the game. So 99% of God's, the creator DNA, is not in man. But man make it think that he's equal with God, that he can have a conversation with God, and God will listen to him and do things for him, which is a false superiority complex that we have. And let me take you to another level, my brother.
Okay.
You was born where?
Right here in Antigua.
So you are Antiguan. We call people born there. What?
Yeah, Antigua, they would refer to.
Antigua.
Yes.
I'm a Panamanian, Jamaica.
Imagine that.
Some people is a proud English, proud Bajan. Guess what? Let me burst all of the bubbles right now.
Let me hear this one. I want to hear this. What are we?
Antigua, Barbados, Jamaica is a piece of dirt. Don't know that it's Barbados and Antigua. It's a piece of dirt that we call Barbados, and we call Jamaica, and we call this. So how can we be a proud Jamaican when the piece of dirt don't know that it's Jamaica.
The rock.
That's why I'm the citizen of the universe. We are citizens for a certain identification, but don't be a proud Antiguan and a proud Jamaican. Now, the culture of a region is different. You might love the Antiguan culture, the Jamaican culture, the Panamanian culture. That's different. And when I go to New York, you know, the first thing I am asking for, where the Jamaican restaurant? You know, where the Bajan restaurant? I can take my culture with me, but I can't take the piece of dirt with me. No, you know, this pro Jamaican, I'm pro this. No, I'm pro Jamaican culture. I love the culture.
As you say, where you live. But okay, let's get a little deeper then. Right. Okay. But
are you having fun? Are you having fun?
Yeah, we're having a marvelous time this evening. You know, I'm actually I'm neglecting my chat here, you know, I must say. Chat, pardon me, but the meditation is so blessed. You know, we have a good right to people here in the chat. Bless up everyone from the top, Malcolm 67, peace and blessings. Kim Charles in the house, everybody just saying blessings. Mike D, what's up, Uncle Priest? Is that my Mike D? Thanks, my brethren, for being in the house. Johnny Johnson coming from Mexico is very thankful for your presence here. Johnny Johnson sounds like he's a follower. And yes, the chat, I don't know if we have any specific questions here for you. Anyone who may have any specific questions for the good brother as we go along, please feel free to ask it. Put a question mark so I spot it right away, and then we can take it from there. Oh, brother Isern is in the house. He actually put that Isern in the house. Yes, he is underscoring much of what I expressed last night. Great reasoning for sure. And I know you would have heard the introduction I gave. So we were going through a spiritual realms previous night. Well, something similar to this conversation, but this conversation is still on a totally different level, I would say, than where we were the previous night. Okay. All right. So anyone that may have a question for the good brother, please feel free. Yes, where was I now a moment ago? I said I wanted to go a bit deeper. Okay, right. So I want to get into like the different levels of ourselves. Okay, before I go there, what do you think of astral projection?
All right, let me tell you that.
Before I go to what I was going to, yes.
It's in my book.
Fair enough.
Let me share something with you. In 2015, I was in New York and I felt a pain in my chest and I thought it was acid reflux. And because I used to be in the United States Air Force, I'm an Air Force veteran, I took the cab to the veteran hospital. And when they checked my system, I was 90% blockage. Within a week, they had me under the table. They cut me open and gave me a quadruple heart bypass. Everything went well. Everything went well. The next day, I was bleeding so bad that they sent for my family. They said I wasn't going to make it. My sister remembered that I took some mushroom, liquid mushroom, the day before, and because she's a nurse, she remembered that certain mushroom is a blood thinner. So they asked them to deal with my blood, which they did, and it stopped the thing. But I was totally sedated, unconscious what's taking place. Then I heard them saying, the doctor is away in operation and he cannot make it for 15 minutes and we don't know what's going to happen to him. So I thought I died. Listen to this. So I said, next time I hear anyone speak, I'm going to lift my foot up and kick it up in the air to see if anyone said anything. They came back and they said, and they was talking among themselves, and I kicked my foot. And I heard someone say, Mr. Chambers, put your foot down, relax, put your foot down. I said, oh my God, I'm alive still. The next day, the nurse and the doctors then came, and I told them what took place. And guess what it said? Oh my God, he heard everything we said, even though I was sedated. Okay? I was out of my body. It exists. It exists, my brother. In my book, I also mentioned I sitting at home, and while sitting there in the dark, I heard this big energy flight in there, and I just sat there, just don't know what to do, man. Nature, look, if you ever want to understand who you are, do me one favor, stay home one day, take a cloth, blindfold yourself, and do everything that you want to do in the house. You will slow down. You will sit back and learn about who you will get to know yourself. When you touch the bed and the wall, you're no longer seeing it. You'll feel the groove. You'll feel every detail of everything that you have. Just blindfold yourself for an hour, 2 hours, and try to function. And you will realize that internal you, that when you calm down, calm, cool, and collective, you take yourself to another dimension. That is very powerful. Another thing too that just came up to my mind, I want to share with you. There's documentary proof that when you look at water, and based on the way you think and what you say, it changes the molecules in the water. Do not drink water while you're angry and upset. It's sending negative vibration through your entire body. The wrong signal, my brother.
Definitely.
The wrong signal. Make sure you're at peace with that water, man. Life is so beautiful, you know.
Yeah, I think I think most of us come to the understanding that water carries memory. We would have heard of I myself have seen the experiment done where, you know, you put the this one was with the rice in a bit of moisturized white rice, and you put it in a bottle and you write love on one and hate on the other bottle, and then you show it to children and these things. I have a brethren that have 2 bottles of rice in his beagle. I don't know if he still has them. Because he read the book by the Japanese author, can't remember the author's name, but about water and the memory of water, and when you tell water love, it changes the component, etc., etc.
Same book. I have that book still.
And reality, he has them in 2 little Gerber bottles, not to give Gerber no push here, but the rice that has on hate is actually became moldy and dirty, and he's a serious brother. He's in this consciousness a lot. So he everything he reads, he's going to try it, and he tried it, and it really worked. It really worked. And he's a younger brother than me, and I've read that book a long time ago. I never tried it, but he he did the experiment, and it really shows you that that what we perceive, really we achieve it.
Yeah.
And even just today, I was driving and I passed this young girl. I don't think she was more than 13 years old. And she had on a black shirt, and I actually saw what's on the shirt before I saw her. You know what's on the shirt? The shirt mark on bad ASS woman.
What?
I am a bad ASS woman. Just the shirt, and then I looked at her. But I was driving, I said, wow, that's something else. So, but I'm just saying now, the things that we wear to, the things that, because when I look at her, that's what I'm reading. Just like when I look at the glass, that marks on love, that marks on hate, because I'm projecting the energy that is asking me to project to it. So just her wearing that now, she's like the water, because she is water inside of a glass marked on.
We are 70% water. The human body is 70% water.
So most of us don't even know just what we wear, especially when it has a message on it. You know, sometimes you're driving and you know you see sometimes a person's car mark on keep the faith, or you know, or all is well, something like that. It actually encourages you. So we don't even know, and that again is the whole energy being transformed inside of you because you feel better. When you're having fun, as you said, you actually feel as if something is vibrating inside of you. So yeah, it's very powerful, the whole vibration as it relates to water. And as
and let me give you another example. There was this lady here in Jamaica who, this guy, they gave him 6 months to live. He had cancer. And she took him up in the hills, where she have a piece of land, right? And she dig a big hole, put it with, soak it with water, make it very moist, put him inside of it, up to his neck, everything. And I think we're there for like 6-8 hours. Long time, just put him there. You know, just buried all the way up with him. When he came out of that place, pus started to come out of his body, all type of thing. And guess what? Up to a couple of years ago, he was still here. When you understand that you need to ground yourself, you know, with nature, you need to make sure your feet is on that ground.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
You know, if you live in a house, they have these mats that you can put the mats there and ground it to the outside, or plug it into your electrical socket with the ground part, so you can be grounded and help. But I want to share something else with you, my brother.
Take your time.
We need to understand about this thing where we call the white people oppressors, or oppressors. Every DNA on planet Earth is traceable back to Africa. Listen to me carefully.
Somebody was saying that in the chat.
There are DNA in Africa that does not exist outside of Africa, but all the DNA outside of Africa is traceable back to Africa. That means that every human on planet Earth can trace their family, their great grandmother back to the origin of Africa. Means they're all descendant of Africa. Plain, don't deny that at all. So when I have an argument or a debate with anybody,
Africa,
with white people and so forth, I don't tell them, when you call a white man an oppressor, you giving him a power that he don't deserve to have. Okay?
White supremacist.
Don't call him that. Don't call him white supremacist. No, you're elevating him and giving him power. Do you know what you need to do, my brother? Look at any white person who think they're superior than you and just do me this favor and say, excuse me, I'm going to ask you to do me 2 favors for me to respect your superiority. And I know you're not going to do me those 2 favors. Get your DNA done and show it to the public. And I hope you have a good heart, because you may end up having a heart attack to realize that you are my disrespectful and grateful, you know, far distant cousin. And if you think I'm lying, you get your DNA done, conversation stopped, okay? You are not my superiority, you are not my oppressor, you are my disgraceful, you know, unworthy to talk about distant family, okay? No, what makes me African more than you? I never left my mother's womb. I maintained her tradition. I maintained her culture. I fight for her still. I believe in her. You went and created your own culture. You went and created your own government, your own system, and pretend that you didn't come from us and try to rob from us and came back home. No, we will knock you down if you try to come back home and rob what is taking place at home. And when you tell them that they're your family, then they would say, my family. I said, look, don't believe me. Go to the whitest owned DNA company and have your DNA done. And if you're man or woman enough, show it to the public and let us see your heritage and guess what? You'll be shocked.
African ancestry.
That you'll be shocked. You white boy, that the Jew that you ate is your family. The African that you think is your enemy is your family, distant family. So look, I like to stop people in the track. And I don't need to go along and have a major debate. My son is 49 years old.
Wow.
Do you know what his name is and his birth certificate? Malcolm X Chambers. My son is the only human being born with the name Malcolm X Chambers. There was two Malcolm X. There were two Malcolm X. There was one before Mecca, and there was one after Mecca.
I was waiting for that one to see who was the other one. I get you.
And the one after Mecca with his new ideology and so forth got him killed.
Khalid Muhammad was the Old Testament Malcolm and New Testament Malcolm.
Yes, Kay.
Right. All right. So let me go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
Well, I was going to ask, as far as like you asked some question earlier, like where were you? You're 73 now. Give thanks for that. You were asking somebody has a question there, but I don't want it to take me off. But let me just ask quick. Brother Ison was asking if you know Mojo or Moji. Moji
is a Jamaican. I listen to him every night, almost every night. He and Sadhguru, it's the same. But he's a Jamaican born.
Yes, he introduced him to some of us last night.
Guess what? What a brother. What a brother. I mean, that. You see, let me tell you something, my brother.
Please.
There is too many there's too many living library, not librarian, library that we need to talk to. You talk about the elder, these are living library. And we need to talk to them and get what I call the earthly Akashic record. The two Akashic records, I created one. There is the universal Akashic record, and I call it the earthly Akashic record. It's all the books and the tapes and the videos that we're making on planet Earth. All of that is in the universal Akashic record, but we also have earthly Akashic record. And we need to get those documentation going, my brother. Talk to those, and we talk to the elders, make sure you have your phone tape recorder on, man. Get yourself a terabyte hard drive and transfer everything every day. Make sure you have those earthly Akashic records available to be documented. That's what it's all about. Enjoying life.
Definitely. So yes, life again now. You were asking what was happening in your existence 75 years ago as you're 73. And you were saying what will happen when, I guess, your time runs out. Why I'm asking that now? Because, well, most people cannot really give an answer to what happens when the physical stops working. Because to me, that's basically what happens. It's just that the body stops working. It doesn't mean the rest stop working. Now, I am positive that I have a communication with my parents, both of my parents, who would have passed 10 and 8 years ago, between each of them. My father passed on first, then my mother after. But I have cases that I am positive I can prove to you that I would have had conversations with them, not necessarily like how me and you talking as such, but just the way that the whole scenario played out. It is over obvious that I was sitting in the presence of both my mother and my father, and they were directing me and guiding me to, I guess, exactly what I should do. And that's more than one occasion as well too. So where would these people be? I could give you an example and, you know, make it plain,
Sure.
if it's necessary. But if not, where would these people be, or the entity be, when they leave this this plane? And do you check for reincarnation? And if so, when you are actually corresponding with the spirits there, would that mean that they have not reincarnated? I hope there's not too many questions there.
Well, let me tell you about the stuff about reincarnation. It surprised the average person when they quiet down and listen carefully that a male and a female is the only human manufacturing machine on planet Earth. Listen carefully. Okay. Now,
the Pride Month people should listen carefully too. Sorry, go ahead.
COVID-19 taught me something. You had COVID-19, and then you have the different variants that came out of COVID-19. Okay. When I got my DNA done, my 23andMe told me that I'm a direct descendant of Pharaoh Ramsey III. I'm a direct descendant of Pharaoh Ramsey III. Okay, that's running my blood.
Yeah, the God, man.
And my brother, I will say this to you, that because of the fact that only male and female can manufacture human beings, we are variants of our first parents. So we are reincarnating every day. Reincarnation happens every time a child is born, because a child cannot born unless it came down over and over again. Those DNA keep on coming out. So we are reincarnated of our original. We are variants of our original parents.
Mm-hmm.
So don't think that we can stop the reincarnation process. The minute the reincarnation process finish, this type of intelligence finish.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But what about the school of thought that says there's a school of thought? I think, I don't know if it's Buddhist, but I know there's this Far East thought that you want to break the cycle of reincarnation, like to escape to go somewhere else. I know you know of it, whether you agree or not.
Yes,
what
yes,
you can tell
yes.
us about it? Mm-hmm.
I would say that's their interpretation of the evidence that I see.
Okay. Right.
And I respect that intelligence.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But based on what I'm seeing, if I can only bring a child from a male and a female, and that child can only bring a child from the male and female, and keep on going down, there's no way I can break away from that and go create human beings somewhere else. Or I say, I'm no longer part of this. No, the minute you're born, you're part of the cycle. Okay? And when you have children, those children is part of the cycle. So if you think that you can break away from it by acting, no, you can try to change your experience from the AKASHIC record and try to live a different life. That's a different story. But you cannot break away, from my point of view, from the reincarnation process, because that is in the power of a man and a woman, and that's it. There's no way you can go to a piece of dirt and create man, or pull a magic and create human being. And guess what? The Creator was so intelligent and so powerful that it made the act of having sex or love making so sweet that 2 or 3 weeks after, the woman said, "Hey, Isaac, you are Papa."
I like that.
You know, it did not leave the creation to man to make a decision. It's automatic.
Mm-hmm,
Hey,
mm-hmm,
let me tell you something. You see the cells?
But you can control it though.
You can try, yes. God
I
said,
like that.
look, God said it's okay.
Good try.
Look, God said it's okay for any man on planet Earth to have a child with any woman on planet Earth. That's what God said. He made it possible. But man says white should be with white, Chinese should be with Chinese, black should be Chinese. That's not what nature said, because nature made it possible. So the cells in your body and the cell in your empress body don't listen to man-made stupidity. They only listen to one song. You know which song that is? By Marvin Gaye. Let's get it on.
So what about do you know? But what about okay, that may not be a good example.
Sure, go ahead.
I was going to. No, well, you know that
Say.
they mix lions and tigers nowadays, create a whole new thing. A liger.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen one of them big cats, but I don't think
Yeah.
they can continue the reproduction process. Just like a donkey and a horse. It's a mule, but the mule, the donkey and the horse can make something, but the two mules can't come together and continue the process. So I see where you're coming from. I get the argument. So well, on that level then, how you look, and I'm gonna soon free you up, I know you are.
No, I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm home by my wife is in Kingston. I'm home by myself, so I'm good.
Right. And just let me say, we have 63 people in the house. We can get a little more of those likes, and we can share the video and let the people see what's going on. It will actually help the rhythm. So how do you look on evolution? Sunday in the Tigers Temple, we and make sure family remember Ras Ison will be with us in the Tigers Temple Sunday. So please contact us and get your link for the Tigers Temple. But we had this reasoning that came up. It didn't last too long concerning evolution and creation.
Yeah.
Yeah, how you look at that. Because I know when you say creation, the idea is very vague. It usually has to do with God. Let there be light and man out of the dust. And of course, when you think evolution, most people's mind will go straight to Darwin. Although the conscious evolutionists will tell you, man, this is not Darwin stuff. And we're not talking about man coming from monkeys. I think the evolutionist theory would be that we have a common ancestor, So where do you stand when it comes to that? Because I don't get the impression you're a person that just brush anything away. You look into it and get the information.
I would say that based on all the research that I've seen done by Blacks and majority whites institution, they all admit that we came from Africa. Okay? All the universities, all our Caucasian distant family and cousin, those who want to admit it, say it every day. What do they say? We came from the ape and we evolved to that point. When I hear the term that we were born in the image of God, I agree we were born in the image of God, not physically, but from a cellular point of view. Because everything happened from a cellular point of view. Nothing happened behind the cellular level. Okay? That's where it starts. And let me go back to the egg and the sperm. If the sperm could be 100 million sperm in an ejaculation, and the sperm is so small and have the intelligence to know how to pierce a egg and start to create you and I, then the entire universe is nothing but intelligence.
Right.
And everything evolves in different stages. And I think that man have evolved. An example, look at the pyramid. In today's modern life, man cannot figure out how other men were able to lift such big rock, create such carving in such a short period of time, write all those history that is there. That's an intelligence that was lost. But guess what, Priest Isaac? That knowledge is still out there in the Akashic record. And for those who are willing to quietly sit down and access it, we will find it out again. But that entire civilization left the planet Earth. The Creator didn't stop it from happening. The Creator didn't intervene. And the same way we are here now trying to restart that what's taking place. Now, in the past, you remember the Dick Tracy movie, right? Dick Tracy. When Dick Tracy used to speak in a watch in his hand.
Yep.
Yesterday, science fiction is today reality. Right? All
you
those
remind me of Dick Tracy.
Right.
You just brought back Dick Tracy to memory. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, all these things that was science fiction yesteryear is today reality. If you want to live in the future, accept today science fiction as today reality.
Yeah, man, of course.
Because today science fiction is tomorrow reality. But you can skip that period of time to make it think and accept it and live in that reality. And you will be living at least 100, 200, 500 years ahead of your time. Because everything is possible. Right now, there are doctors who are creating computers to download the human brain. They already started. Can you imagine one day they'll be able to download your brain and you thinking in an avatar?
I know, man, they're going to do it, man. Well, not to me, but it's going to be done. All what we're using here now has been there when we didn't even know it was there.
Let me tell you something that will scare you. Okay? You know what a heat-seeking missile is, right?
Yes, definitely.
Good. And you know right now that you can go to your I can go online and go to your cellular company, buy you some credit, and we click of a button, it go through space all over the world, right to Antigua and right onto your phone, right?
Yes, sir.
Keeping that in mind, imagine one day I found out that Priest Isaac is the Prime Minister of Antigua, and I can't stand it. But I want to kill it. I'm going to kill it.
Lord,
so guess what happened? I realized that he had a heart transplant, and you have a pacemaker inside of it.
Machinery now.
I go and I had the hospital, and I found your records, and I knew exactly the model of your heart spacer. And I create a virus now, and I click a button, and the virus goes go through space, directly seeking that particular pacemaker, hit you, you collapse, and people want to know what happened to my brother.
What happened? Yeah.
All those things are possible, my brother, in tomorrow's world.
Well, even today's world, well, as you said, it's here today before it's there tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then because tomorrow gonna be today. As you clearly explained earlier. Yeah, it's just the one is now. So the universe with go ahead.
Any of your guests have any question?
Yeah, well, I see a lot of conversation going on in the chat.
Let's share it. Let's share it.
And back and forth, I was asking many specific questions. Just a few different points. Different ones are saying
the good, the bad, and the different. Said it all. I love it.
Right. This one is, well, maybe I should start a little bit up here now. So Tony Top is saying, Tony Top, Jah Rastafari overs everything. I think that's the whole name. Rastafari, 7 seals from 7 notes and 7 colors. Then you have Dan Lambert saying control, perhaps applied technique. I'm not sure exactly what that would be for. But in fact, what he said there, just permit me to come in here before that question slips me. Yeah. So as far as connecting now with the universe within, are there any techniques or, okay, you know, you have yoga, some people deep breathing, you have psychoactive materials, you have ayahuasca and all sorts of different things, magic mushroom, you mentioned some mushroom a while. Are there any techniques or any, well, I can say substances, but any technique, let me say techniques, and then if substance is a part of the technique, you'll bring it in, where a person can be more in tune with their spiritual self, with their divine self, with that self we don't see, with their soul, you know, any advice you could have on that? Because I know, for example, some people fast, depending on, go ahead, you go ahead.
Majority of the technology geniuses right there used to take LSD. You know, their old brain just open up in what needs to be done. Mushrooms. I'm telling you right now, there are so many ways for ones to master the universe within. The most important thing needs to be done is this. I'm asking you and your entire listeners for the next week.
Yes, listeners, listen to this.
While you're walking down the street, look at every homeless person that you can see, every person walking with a cane, every person walking hunchback, and 99% of them used to look like you and I never thought they would have been there. So if you do not understand and master the universe within, there's an old folks home waiting for all of us, or the same destiny we might experience if we don't understand and take time out to understand who you are as a person. That's number one. To give a good example, I came home one day, I turned to my wife, I said, honey, I want 12 pair of pants. I want 15 pair of shirts, maybe 18 pair of shirts, and I want 3 suits and give away everything else. And guess what? I wear those 12 pants and 15 shirts and different things, and I look good every day. And I turn to my wife, if someone tells me that I wear the same shirt twice, they have a problem. That's not my problem. So to understand all that relates to who you are, you have to also find a way to divert yourself from get caught up in the material world, where you need every material thing that exists out there, and try to find time to really learn who you are internally. Take care of your good health. You know, take care of your spiritualism. Find time to meditate. Find time to be quiet. Find time to go to a tree and hug a tree up. Look.
Definitely.
Does the earth talk? Yes, the earth talk. The earth communicate. When there's mango season, preach Isaac, in Antigua, the mango season in Jamaica, the mango season in Jamaica, mango season in Panama. How does it know that it's time for them to be a mango season all over the world? That's intelligence that we all take for granted. And intelligence is inside of us. And if we just quiet down and see nature and how things go, we will have more fun enjoying life than trying to rush to trying to make $1 and own all type of material things and stuff. Steve Jobs could never buy back his health with all the money that he has. Bush Stewart, who runs Sandals, you know, Michael Jackson, everybody, they all died broke. There's no Brinks truck, there's no money truck going for no funeral. So this question is, you must find time to breathe, to meditate, to look up in the sky, understand who you are, learn as much as you can, and don't forget to pick up the phone and call your mother, your uncle, your nephew you haven't called in a long time. Say, hey, hi, how are you doing? It doesn't take money to be loving. It don't take money to be kind. It doesn't take money to have a nice conversation like we're having now. We can disagree with each other, but we can have a civil conversation.
Of course.
It did no take money to call a friend and say, you know, Johnny, I haven't heard from you in 2 years. Are you okay? You okay? Bye, bye. Hang up the phone. But the point is communication. Look, when we hug, you know what happened? We touch pressure points in our body. We're healing each other. That's the reason why these people don't want us to hug anymore and touch. They want us to stay sick and kill ourselves off. But when we hug, you know, when you hug, you feel secure, you feel different and so forth. That's what it's all about.
Yes,
when last have men hug their son? When last that happened? When last that happened? My brother, I was 63 years old when my father was having dementia in a senior citizen home. And my father never told me that he loved me in 63 years. And one day I was rubbing his head. I said, Daddy, I love you. And he said, son, I love you too. Tears came to my eye at 63 years old. Finally, I heard him told me he loves me, man. We live a life, a pain, an internal hurt. And we're afraid because there's a gay business because mentioned a lot of men. My son is 6 feet tall. And when I see him, he knows he have to put his cheek there because you're gonna big kiss there and a big kiss over here. Like the Italian hug, man. And show that brotherly hug and all that feeling and that energy and vibration. When you hug someone, you're trusting that person with your emotion and your feelings.
Yes, man.
That's what life is all about, my brother. It's simple enough.
It is.
Life is simple. If you break it down, and you don't need money to give someone 6 love at a domino table, you know, just look, do me a favor. I have one motto that I live by, and I hope it become yours. I want to die young at a very old age.
Well, you say you're 24.
Okay.
You did that.
The point is this: never become an adult. Adults are the most miserable set of people on Mother Earth. They're too old for too many things. Remain a responsible child, regardless of how old you are. Never forget the things that made you happy when you were 15 years old. Brother, I've been married to my present wife for 25 years, my empress.
That's why you're 24.
And let me tell you something, my brother. In 25 years, I've never asked my wife to cook for me once. I never asked my wife to clean my clothes or wash for me once in 25 years. Because I did not marry a housekeeper. I did not marry a maid. And because of that, my wife cooked, cleaned, washed, do everything for me. Because you know why? Because without a woman, none of us will be here. And when you disrespect the womb that brings us into this universe, we create chaos. I tell my wife I love her at least once or twice a week, sometimes 2 times a day for 25 years. I tell my wife, thanks for being in my life every time I get a chance to. And if tomorrow my wife say, hey, I fall in love with somebody else and I'm gone, I'm leaving you, I say, let's kiss and say goodbye. I ain't gonna have a nervous breakdown at all. Next. Hey, boss. Hey, remember one thing. A person convinced against the will is of the same opinion still. Why would you want to beg and force someone to be with you when they already made up their mind? Let me pack your bag and send you on your way. It was nice the years you spent together. I enjoyed it. It was beautiful. May you have happiness. I cannot beat a woman and kill her and motivate her because she had a different. But it's all they all have to do with understanding the cosmic law of creation, man, and enjoying your breath of life, and not allow anyone. You should never give the key to your happiness to anyone, not your mother, your father, your son, your children, nobody. You're supposed to own that key. Now, let me ask you a question. If you're walking down the street and you find pebble in your shoes, what will you do?
Pebbles?
Yeah.
You mean like a stone irritating the wall? Yeah, I'll take it. I'll tell you what I know I've done. I'll take it and dust it out and put it back on and walk again.
Good. Anyone who become a pebble in your life, get rid of them.
Oh.
Even if you're picnic, you're brought into this world, and they become a pebble in your life and creating pain, you need to get rid of that pebble. Because you came out of your mother womb by yourself, and you're going to leave this world by yourself. And you have a moral obligation to take care of yourself. And every human being on planet Earth was born with a right and a privilege to use you and abuse you till you say no more. Stop complaining. Oh, why is he saying this? Why is he doing this to me? That's his right. That's her right. Your mother, your father, your uncle, your children, your nieces, strangers, they have a right to use you and abuse you as much as they can until you say no more. Finito, it stops right there. That's what energy and vibration is all about, my brother.
Yes, my God.
Loving yourself.
This is going to, okay. What is the elder's opinion on the Anunnaki of the Sumerian tradition? I just look and see that question.
What was that?
What is the elder's opinion? Oh, the question gone. Anyway, it was the Anunnaki and the Sumerian tradition. That was from the Now Church. And then after you answer that, I'm going to ask you one more question and then we see.
Well, I can tell you something. I have a chapter in this book on marriage. Look on all the pictures them in my book, right? All have to do with all seeing eyes and the universe and so forth. I list in this book marriage and religion, and relationship. And I list all the different relationships where women have more than one husband. Up in the world, you have relationships where men have multiple wives. You have relationships where brothers married the same woman to keep land. It's happening right now. Right in Africa, there is a woman. There's 2 friends who married the same girl. There's one guy, I don't know if you saw it. These triplets. three women in Africa married the same man because they all fell in love with the same man. It just happened a year ago, right? So tell him that I respect all of those traditions. That's their privilege. You know, I have no right to say if it's right or wrong, as long as you're not hurting people or depriving people of the freedom to be. I have total respect for it.
Give time. Let me ask you, where does wealth, how does wealth play with spirituality and growth? I know you mentioned earlier about money and material things, and we don't have to so and so, but well, obviously I know you're not a proponent of poverty and want and lack. No. So where does it fit in?
Can I tell me? Wealth and spirituality are like a train and a railroad track.
Okay.
You are the train. Spirituality is one side of the track, and wealth is on the other side of the track, and they should never cross and meet. Okay. So in other words, I do not go to God, the creator, and ask him to help me to be rich. I go read a book on stock market, Bitcoin. I studied that and I apply the principle of wealth. And I don't go to wealth and tell wealth to help me with my spirituality. Okay? True. So I have no problem in us playing the corporate game, having a big mansion, having 10 cars you want. That's a game that you want to play by the game. But at the same time, make sure it does not interfere with the spirituality of who you are. There's nothing wrong with wealth. Wealth is great. But the point is, how do you use your wealth? And how, you know, look, some people just hold on to just knowing that they have this money in the bank and they do nothing with it. You know? My point is, I am right now, first of all, let me tell you my background. I think I understand marketing very well.
Very good. Wow.
I build websites. I'm the one who built a website for Reggae Sunfest, Jamaica Jazz and Blues, the Trial Club. I build some serious websites.
Yeah, you.
Okay. That's what I do. And I own Access Africa with KA.com. I own Let's Do It in the Caribbean.com. I own Let's Do It in Africa.com. And I'm about to build the biggest real estate online that we Black people are going to own. That's my goal. To build the biggest online real estate that nobody can stop us.
Okay, good.
Okay. Rasta. I also own Caribbean Financial Network.com. If you go to see right now, it's online. Caribbean
Everybody take notes, please take notes.
.com. Okay. I own Marcus Garvey Museum.com. I also own the Bob Marley Walk of Fame.com. I own a lot of domain names. And my job is to build a serious, I own the Caribbean Ancestors.com. And when I finish, and everybody want to join me, we want to build our own online real estate where we can communicate and learn about us, learn about life. And you know something? Get to know each other and see how we can help each other without thinking about, well, I need money for this and so forth. Let the universe bless us. Let the universe open doors for us. But we at the same time is a perishable commodity. Let's use our time by helping others as much as possible. You know, in the relationship, in the business, if people need consulting, if you go to Amazon and type THEO, THEO THEO's theory on marketing, my book will come up. It teaches the ABC of marketing, business management, how to create your own marketing plan. It tells you all about website, how to build a website, all of that stuff. I enjoy them both. Now, here's something I want to surprise you though. Are you ready for this surprise?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I told you.
I'm going to take this off and I'm going to get something. I'm going to come right back. Stay
Yes,
right
okay.
there.
I'm not going anywhere at all. Just family, give thanks. We're going to soon look to seal up. Give thanks to all those who are in the chat, as you know, Daddy Akil. So, yes, there's a lot of musical sorcerer. That's what it is. Okay, musical sorcerer says Rasta should be like a warrior monk in this time.
I'm back.
Yes,
I'm going to show you what I used to do for a living for many years, and I gave it up. I was the #1 Black magician in the entire world.
Oh, I did hear you say that. Yes, yes. And you taught
And
Muhammad Ali.
This is me traveling the world. This is me traveling the world.
He was on famous face there, man.
Who is that sitting down there?
That's Muhammad Ali there?
That's right.
Right.
Muhammad Ali.
Yes, a magician in his own right too.
That's right. So what I'm trying to tell you that for me, who have seen all the tricks in life, cut women in half, levitation could fool the entire world.
Wow.
For me to accept the AKASHIC records and to deal with all those things, because I was able to separate the man-made game and all of the lies and all the trickery, and just deal with the issue, because I have had people who can, I know people read people's mind and how people do tricks. So I was around the best. So I am totally involved with what's taking place, because to me it's real.
Yeah, man, I feel you, man. I feel you.
There's no trickery there. There's no game there.
I feel you.
There's no game there. And all I can tell you, my brother, enjoy the few seconds you have on this earth, man. And when I say a few seconds, if you compare your life to some of the trees that is on planet Earth, you only live a few seconds, man. And you compare with your life to stones and many physical things that you see on planet Earth.
One page.
We just live a few seconds, man.
A few sentences, a few paragraphs in the book. Eh? Yes. Well, in sealing up, my brother, give us some more. I know you call a lot of different websites there, but if someone wants to contact you directly, well, I know you're on Amazon for sure, your different books, if you want to give them a little idea of the books you have, or whatever it is you want to share with us.
They can call me at 516.
Listen, family, make sure.
Write it down. 516. 499. 3380.
3380.
That's my US number. The Jamaican number is 876.
So listen, family, Jamaican number is 876, area code 876
310
310
6612.
6612. I remember you can press pause, you can watch it again, and the number is not going to change. And
they can go to my website, THEOISM.com. THEOism.com. And the other one is Let's LETS, Let's Do It in the Caribbean.com.
Very good.
And my email is Theo, THEO, Walker, WALKER, 69 at gmail.com.
Very good, very good.
And I'm looking forward one day to be in Antigua with you guys sitting around the ocean or under a tree, reasoning for a couple of days.
It would be nice if you could come to the summer solstice.
I'll talk to the Empress, see what we can do.
Yes, yes, and definitely it would be a joy. You know, your wisdom is definitely on a peak there for us. So, but your different books, though, we can go to Amazon as well, isn't it? And
yeah, just type Theo Chambers and see what comes up with my books.
Yes, Theo Chambers.
THEO, Theo Chambers.
But Theo is God, isn't it?
Yes, my middle name is Theophilus, the love of God.
Okay.
So,
but it's
so what?
Theo for short. It's Theo for
Yeah.
short. Okay,
Yeah.
Theoism.
Now, let me ask you a quick question, even though you're the interviewer. What is your goal and objective in life?
I hear you. I'm going to give you, I have several goals. I'll give you some because some is not, I wouldn't say it to the public, some of my goals really, you know.
Yeah.
But definitely, as you said, you want to leave the space a better space than you met it. That's for sure. And even that's why I asked about even the wealth, because our people need to be edified. And even what we're doing here is just a microcosm of the bigger work. And when I say edify, it's to uplift people's spirit and to uplift their intelligence and uplift their way of life. And in whatever way that will be done, whether it's through building systems, because we live in a system. We live in a system that is oppressive in many ways. And we as a people too, at the same time, need to come out of that oppression. So it starts with education. So within myself, I see that I'm an educator. And I would say that my goal specifically is to do my best as edifying my people in all different subject areas and all different genres of knowledge, you know, and to enhance our spirit and to strengthen our soul. That's one of the main goals that I have. As I said, there's several others, but that's not something I would just share right now with the public like that for strategic reasons.
Yeah, well, let me say this.
So you can work on that one there.
Poverty, and I would love to work with you with whatever project you have. But poverty is 25%, it's 25% real and 75% created. And let me explain this.
25% green, you said?
Real.
Oh,
real poverty. And 75% man-made, from my point of view.
Yes.
And let me explain this. You and I live in Antigua, this beautiful place. We have food on our table.
Oh yeah.
We are great and we are happy. And then now we decided that we want to go to New York. And in New York, we saw all these big flat screen TV. And we still no one said, oh, compared to those people that we stay with, we are poor. So no, we need to have a flat screen TV at home. So now that is done. They came up with a phone. The phone works well. And the phone is perfect. All we do is make phone call on it. And all of a sudden now a new version came out that costs $1,500 with all these features. We're still making phone calls. The phone worked perfect, but we are poor because this is the old version. We want a new version to make the same phone call, to make the same thing. We never use the features that is there, and so forth. Another thing too about poverty is that the average person feels successful when they go home and open their closet and it looks like a mini department store. There are 550 dresses, 200 pair of shoes. They have some shoes with some clothes with tags still inside of it, and they still want more clothes. Then they go buy a dress, especially the woman, and the dress had these beautiful line, blue line in it. And they said, oh, I need a shoes to match this little blue line. Like someone is going to take out the shoes and put it together and say, oh, this match. You understand? So they have all these crazy things that happen. So poverty sometimes is sort of greed and what people say red eye.
Yeah,
you know,
red eye, man.
You know, because we are poor because we don't have that in our house. Some people claim to be financially rich, have 5 bedrooms, like in Jamaica, 5, 6 bedrooms, only 2 of them live in it because they come from England and they try to duplicate Buckingham Palace, you know, to say they are successful. And then they have an immaculate house. They have a maid that keep everything perfectly, neatly done. And if 2 people visit them for the whole year, there's a whole lot of people there with them for their own vision and their own glory, while other people starve and so forth and so on. So sometimes poverty is looking at what others have, what you could have, and not looking at how happy you are.
Yeah.
And a lot of rich people, and let me tell you this, self-imprisonment is a terrible thing. Because 80% of the time or more, when you get financially successful, you want to go buy a house where none of your old friends them live. You have new friends. You want gated community. You do not hang around to your old friends anymore because they want to ask you you feel they want to ask you for money. You don't feel secure anymore, but you need a gun now. You need all of this. So success is also self-imprisonment to a certain degree.
You.
I love to be free.
Top security you need, man.
Hey, can you imagine?
Yeah, it's
Can you
true.
imagine? How happy can you be? I know in Jamaica, I'm happy about this, that many of the Black-owned company here, you see them walking down the street, you think that they are broke. Slippers, short pants, and you know, them just simple as can be. Only certain people, and you know what I found out too? I'm gonna get myself in trouble.
I didn't mean.
The more they become academically intelligent, the more they defend the Western way of life.
Of course, yeah.
The more they look down on people who don't have a PhD or master's degree.
They become bourgeois.
Bourgeois. But you know what I told them? All of them? The first human being who got a PhD, a master's degree, a bachelor's degree, got it from someone who never had one.
I hear you.
When you understand that, that means there were lawyers, doctors, and scholars before there was any university. So don't feel bad if you don't have one. You are still as smart and as intelligent as any walking human being on planet Earth. That's the key.
Yes, my brother. Well, my brother, I'm giving thanks.
I give him thanks.
All praises and blessings. And of course, you know, we will definitely do it again. And thank you for the moment you spent with us. And, you know, we really appreciate it.
Send me all of your links. Send me all your links, all your stuff that you're doing. I'll jump on. I like to be part of everything that you're doing. I love the energy and the vibration. Let's keep the door open. And when you get the videos, send me a copy so I can share it with my wife.
Well, this is going to be sealed now. It's going to be on YouTube. I will ask the Empress to send you everything. I know your phone might get overloaded right now.
I'm good.
Yes, give thanks, my brother. I appreciate it very, very much. And we'll talk again. I know very, very soon. I know you're sending something tomorrow morning, so I'm looking forward. Ubuntu. Yes, man, Ubuntu.
I am.
Man. Give thanks. Ubuntu. Oh yes, family, give thanks and Isaac for such a strength. Give thanks to the good brother is coming there with us and giving us such information. So family, what you thought about that one, man? You see, yeah, man, give thanks for the uplifting reasonment thereof. And that's what it's all about, you know, advancing the way we think, and can't be too tunnel vision and this one thing and this try to be too religious. Sometimes we're having a discussion about you know how a fan works, and people still bringing religion into the conversation. Yeah, so that's I'm telling you, we're in a dread state of mind. So family, give thanks for the love. You know, I'm just reminding you, of course, Tiger's Temple. That is this Sunday at 8 p.m. Honorable Patrick Emmanuel Watkins, the great Isern, will definitely be there with us. And Brother Isern, as you know, we're going to be talking about several things, man. I want you to bring in a little bit of that Septuagint discussion that you were talking about last night, especially since in the Tiger's Temple, we were on the Bible for a bit. So if you could bring that in the discussion Sunday too, I would mind. And we're going to return to the whole aspect of the divinity of the emperor, and you know, of course, the audience for sure. Remember, once you're in the temple, you'll be given the position to ask your question live and direct, put on your mic and put on your camera. And of course, we could definitely have a civil reasoning, because I take the position as full moderator there, obviously. And with the Tiger's Temple is not for no argument and no back and forth and all of that kind of thing. So we are asking that we keep it civil when we come into the temple. So you know what to do. All you have to do is to contact us. You know the information there. Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com, or give us a call. Let us know, I would like to be in the temple on Sunday. I will definitely give you the link so you could pass through. All right, family. And remember, this is the moment you got to definitely contact us and reserve your spot for the summer solstice experience. It sounds like Brother Theo may be there with us. Let us just wait and see. But for sure, this is the time. It's the 1st of June now. We're going into the 1st of June. No, it is the 1st of June already. So you have to understand that this is the time. In the next 17 days, you should be here. So this is not the time to go and think about it now. This is the time to contact us and say, hey, how is it looking? Is there still space that I can come to Antigua and spend some time with the family? It's going to be wonderful, you know, and make sure you get a clear understanding of exactly the cost, the price, and everything thereof. And you'll see for yourself, it is extremely economical as it relates to the summer solstice experience. Double hike the Green Castle Hill amongst the megaliths. And at the same time, we will be definitely carrying on the cannabis tour. Wonderful lecture series, so many great things. Yoga retreat is just going to be a blast, and I'm looking forward to your presence with us. So give thanks, family. Thanks for the love. Thanks for all those who are in the chat. And give thanks for the joy. I really appreciate love this evening and the strength. It was really a strength for me. And let us definitely be thankful for the good brother Theo Chambers. 24 years old in a 73-year-old body. 24 years young in a 73-year-old body. Give thanks, family. You don't know it takes some realize that are amongst us, eh? Yeah, you better keep that in mind. Love and majesty, Holy Emmanuel, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari.